Every year, hundreds of industrial fishing vessels set course for some of the most remote waters on Earth, where the rules are weak and oversight is scarce. Their target? Squid. Millions of tons of it, fueling a multi-billion-dollar market that's set to keep growing. The Chinese industry is leading this surge, operating a distant water fleet on a scale the world has never seen before. This is how the global squid fleet operates when no one is watching.
Squid tend to congregate heavily in very specific areas. So there's 4 main commercial squid fishing hotspots, and they're all on the high seas, so waters that don't belong to one single country. There is some oversight over the Pacific fisheries through international bodies, but the others have none. No catch limit, no monitoring, just no regulation whatsoever.
The distant water squid fishing industry is unique in its lack of regulation. With no one counting what's being taken, overfishing and illegal fishing on an industrial scale goes completely undetected. And squid aren't just a commodity. Remove them from the food chain and the consequences ripple across the entire ecosystem.
Hay un problema que es la pesca indiscriminada del recurso. Entonces ocupa un lugar clave desde ese punto de vista, ¿no? En la trama trófica. Porque es un consumidor de zooplancton de la misma manera que consumen muchas de las especies de importancia comercial. Es consumido por estas especies también. Y de haber una disminución abrupta de la abundancia del calamar se produciría un desequilibrio en toda la cadena trófica.
Many of these vessels are not just taking squid. They're hauling tuna, marlin, swordfish, species that they're not licensed to catch and that are strictly protected by international quotas. And those quotas, they're only as good as the data behind them. So when illegal catch goes unreported, the science breaks down, and that leads to more overfishing. And we're not talking about just a few fish either here. These vessels can catch so much fish that they have to dump them back into the sea, dead.
Cumi dapat. Ada ikan tongkol sama ikan marlin, ikan hiu juga dapat. Apa yang ada di bawah pasti kena.
Freezer penuh tuh, udah kita buang aja langsung.
Kalau menurut saya sangat merusak terhadap lingkungan.
EJF investigators have gathered testimony and footage from over 400 crew members who worked on board squid vessels operating in the Southwest Atlantic, Southeast Pacific, and Northwest Indian Ocean. What they have documented goes far beyond overfishing and targeting high-value fish. Protected species like penguins and turtles are hauled on board, while sharks and sea lions are deliberately killed for their fins and teeth.
Halos halo-halo kasi yung nakukuha namin doon. Walang pinipili kung ano yung pumapasok sa lambat.
Apakah kapal akan ini sering mendapatkan ikan hiu, Bang?
Iya. Ketika mendapatkan hiu itu, ABK Cina itu memotong siripnya, Pak. Terus dibuang lagi ke laut, Pak.
Kalau anjing laut itu diambil kulitnya sama giginya.
Yang namanya lumba-lumba itu juga naik. Kalau dia kesakitan, dia bersuara. Ada suaranya dia. Gitu. Kalau begitu dapat dari jaring, terus naik ke kapal masih hidup, terus di proses hidup-hidupan itu menjerit. Ikannya menjerit. Gitu. Saya nggak tega juga sih lihatnya.
These vessels can stay at sea for years at a time, weeks from the nearest port, beyond the reach of any authority. For the workers on board, many of them recruited from Indonesia and the Philippines with promises of decent pay, that isolation has severe consequences. Squalid living conditions, forced labour and violence have become the baseline for employment on these vessels.
Pagdating mo doon, naku, trato kayo na parang lang, hayop lang din.
Udah capek, nggak dikasih makan, istirahat nggak boleh, kayak gitu.
Tiap hari itu pasti ada kekerasan. Kepala sampai dipukul sama pipa yang besi lah itu.
Ada injakan dari kakinya Mandur. Seperti ada pembandingan dalam tubuh dan pencekikan dalam leher.
Kalau itu ada satu orang sampai dia mau nekat bunuh diri. Sampai emang benar-benar itu tersiksa lah, saking stresnya kayak gitulah.
Nagkasakit po ako doon eh. Doon, gawa ng, akala ko yung matatapos na. Ganun, gawa ng sa dami namang nagkakasakit, tapos na mamatay. Isang buwan yun. Walang gamot na naibibigay, walang pinapabayaan lang ako. Tapos, laging sinasabi nung kapitan ng antayin lang daw mamatay. Kasi nga, sanay na siya na may mamatay sa kanyang naririnig, sanay na nila.
Sa sobra, napakaswerte lang talaga namin lahat na nakauwi kami ng buhay.
Across the world's oceans, massive and ever-expanding squid fishing fleets are operating with virtually no scrutiny or regulation, decimating squid populations, targeting protected species, and exploiting workers for profit. We must act urgently to regulate these fisheries and bring them in line with other industrial fleets operating on our shared ocean.
Kaming mga crew ng pawis at dugo yung pinagarapan namin dyan sa barko na yan. Yung huli namin yan, parang may story rin yan.